Welcome to Fast Five, where our three panelists weigh in on 5 separate topics. Let's get started. Our first one, China censors have banned Winnie the Pooh, the cartoon character that children love, on their nation's lovely interwebs. What do you think?
You go first on this one, Jim.
Yeah, I can't. there is, yeah. Well, you know, it's the whole honey thing. You know, Winnie the Pooh likes to get honey, and there probably is something about imports or something that they don't like about it, or it doesn't let them fluctuate their currency. So I don't know. I have no clue why one would ban Winnie the Pooh.
Well, the reason that they actually did ban Winnie the Pooh is that Chinese bloggers, with all of the censoring that goes on in their internet, had taken to using images of Winnie the Pooh to mock their country's politicians, because apparently Winnie the Pooh characters look like Chinese politicians, and the government just wasn't okay with that. It's like, you know, if in America, if we banned, you know, something about tiny hands.
Well, and I read that, and I would say that you know, there's some American politicians I would suggest maybe not look, but act like Eeyore. You remember the We're Doomed guy? Well, that's Eeyore.
You know, many years ago, Barbara Streisand was very upset because some website published a photo of her beach house. So she tried to get it removed from the internet, which resulted in that photo getting spread across the internet far and wide, hence resulting in the Barbara Streisand effect. China, welcome to the Barbara Streisand effect.
Yeah.
This will not end well for you.
No, it won't. No, it won't.
All right, our next topic, Amazon is taking on Blue Apron. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, I got to jump in on this one. I think this is the next logical step for Amazon. They've already got the Amazon Fresh thing where you can get all the groceries.
They just bought out Whole Foods.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think this is a great next step for them.
Now, what is Amazon, or what is Blue Apron?
Blue Apron is one of these services where you can order your meals, and they send you the ingredients along with the instructions on how to make it. So if you're making 2 salmon fillets, they send you the 2 salmon fillets, they send you the seasoning packets, and it's all fresh, and it's all cut, and it all arrives just ready for you to jump in and cook. So you're cooking your own meals, but they're providing you with the exact ingredients you want and the exact instructions on how to make it. I know several people who use this service and they love it.
Free market provides.
I have no doubt. I am getting a little worried about Amazon and their size. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on there, and if you look, and I have been a couple things I needed to buy recently, and I've been comparing. It used to be Amazon, the pricing wasn't always the same. Well, now if you look at the Walmart and the Amazon and the Target, the prices are all within pennies of each other.
Right, and that's the challenge that Amazon's going to end up facing, is that they have always traditionally competed based upon being able to provide something for a lower price.
Right.
But now that they're actually encountering competitors who can provide for the same price, now you're no longer differentiated. Now you're just a commodity, so people are going to go to whichever website has the free shipping or has, you know, a bonus with whatever the item is.
Well, and I think the quick shipping is also important, and I think the you know, I think the ability to have the sellers. I mean, you or I or Tyler could jump onto Amazon and become a seller and sell whatever it is we want to sell.
Right.
So there's, you know, there's some interesting things there. But I think it's a great move for Amazon.
Amazon's best move that they did to avoid that issue is the Amazon Prime free 2-day shipping. As long as that program continues, they will continue to differentiate.
Well, exactly, and we shouldn't get off on Amazon, but there's a lot of things that they've done that's been very smart.
Will we soon be saying Senator Caitlyn Jenner? Is that going to be the new Republican senator from California?
Republican or Democrat?
She's a Republican.
I mean, it actually really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And here's why. Name recognition. Okay? Unfortunately, there's a lot of people in this country that vote based upon name recognition alone. She has the name recognition. She has a good shot at it.
I think she does too.
Ronald Reagan became president. Arnold Schwarzenegger became governor. Why? Because they were known names.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know what kind of politician she would be. I think that I think that the name recognition is definitely a part of it. I think that if she has the intellect and the political prowess to be successful, I think that's going to speak a lot about our country in terms of the LGBT community. And where we've come in a very short time. I think that's one thing that we can look back upon, you know, and really see some forward progress. But it'll be interesting to see when, you know, because at some point she's going to need to start talking about issues, and the people that understand the issues, and that may be a minority, but they're going to start making decisions on whether she's worth electing or not.
I think it all needs to please stop, and nothing about, you know, the LGBT community. This goes the same for for Kid Rock, who's also considering running to be a representative in Congress. Please just leave the politics to people other than our celebrities. That's enough of this.
Well, and don't forget, The Rock is running for president.
Of course, of course. Speaking of politics.
Can I back up for just a second on that?
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you, and I said on this show a week or so ago to the actors, actresses, and other Hollywood socialites that would insert themselves into things that they have no idea about, shut up and read your lines. But I think that those, you know, Ronald Reagan was a good president, and he was a Hollywood person, but I think you cannot exclude them just by way of the fact that they're an actor. But I don't think you can listen to everything that they say just because they're an actor. Donald
Trump, Kid Rock, and I don't think Caitlyn Jenner are any Ronald Reagan. On the topic of politics, Richard Madaleno has entered the gubernatorial field for the Democratic nomination in Maryland. What do you guys think about that?
Now which office is that for?
Governor, Maryland.
Governor?
Gubernatorial.
You know, I mean, I've seen people, you know, putting in their hats for, you know, for governor, putting in for Congress for the 6th District. At this point, it's still too early to tell who's actually going to end up getting the nomination. But
here's my take on the Democratic side. Larry Hogan he's the second highest approval rating of any governor in this country. Now, if the Democrats need to congeal around one candidate very, very quickly, because I believe the numbers were, right now today, if there was an election, 41% would vote for Larry Hogan, 37% would vote for the theoretical Democrat, and 20% are not sure. So there might be a lot of Democrats who approve of Larry Hogan, but might vote for a Democratic option that they see as better. The Maryland Democrats can't afford to have a long, bloody, drawn-out primary the same way that the Republicans had in the 2016 presidential election, because the fact is, while Hillary Clinton might have been a historically bad candidate, Larry Hogan is a historically good candidate.
But here's the thing that you said just now, 20% undecided, that 20% is going to be what makes a difference. And Larry Hogan can be negatively impacted by national politics. And if the Republicans don't get their act together nationally, then Larry Hogan's potentially going to have a problem. Similarly, on the Democratic side, you know, he can have a problem if things start to turn and the Republicans start to get something done in Congress and in the national politics. So it's going to be interesting. But I agree with Ken. I think it's too early to tell.
Yep. And our final topic for the Fast Five: the Trump administration is considering returning a Maryland property that was seized after the Obama administration imposed sanctions on Russia for their election meddling back in, I believe it was January. What do you guys think? Should that property be returned?
So I think it's generating a lot of press. I think it's generating at this point more press than how much money on pallets did we send over to Iran?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
So
well, you know, we're
this is a non-issue for me.
But you know, well, the only way this could actually be an issue is if somehow Governor Hogan gets drug into it. Tied back into our previous one. Is this could actually end up working against Hogan in 2018?
Yep. I actually do consider this a big deal, and I'm on the same side as Ben Sass, who, when the Obama administration imposed these sanctions, called them too little too late. And the fact is they were, and now is not the time when we have a smoking gun of Russian collusion in our election to start rolling back the sanctions on the Russian regime.
We'll never let it be said that President Trump did anything based on polls.
Very true, very true. Stay tuned. Our last call is next.